Look, the last two movies were tenuously martial arts movies. Kung Fu Dunk had some martial arts tenets, and Future Cops was a Street Fighter movie, but neither had an overwhelming amount of action. That's not the case with today's movie. Master of the Flying Guillotine is a classic martial arts movie. If you're a fan of classic Kung Fu, you will recognize the film's style and themes, and if you aren't, it's a great introduction to the classic Kung Fu film. It's the sequel to One-Armed Boxer and stars Jimmy Wong as the One-Armed Boxer. The film opens with a narration letting us know that the Qing Empire was hiring assassins to help put down a rebellion. These assassins were masters of the legendary Flying Guillotine weapon. Then we meet this blind old man, and okay, look, if you're new to this is the bad guy. It's not a spoiler, it's not a shock. In these classic films, you can check some boxes off. Is he old, with long white beard and eyebrows? Check. Does he have some seeming debilitation like blindness? Check. Is he a master of some weird weapon or style? Check, check, and check. Then that's your bad guy. Easy. It was a pretty prevalent trend in these classic movies, much like the enterprising foreigner is a more recent trend in movies today. The old man is informed his pupils are dead, and swears to kill the man who did it. Then we jump to our protagonist, the one-armed boxer. He's running a dojo and teaches his pupils jumping and lightness. He shows a supernatural ability, another classic hallmark of these older films. We learn that a rival school is holding a tournament, and the one-armed boxer agrees to attend only to recruit, but not compete. We see this rival school in a demonstration, and this is a great example of the style of choreography. It's very pose-heavy. A lot of the fighting is a move to a clash, and then the fighters pose. It's an extension of forms in all fighting styles. The fluidity of fighting comes as martial arts films borrow less from traditional Kung Fu philosophy and more from combat. So let's sidetrack a little bit. A great representation of this comes from a recent cartoon series. Avatar: The Last Airbender takes a lot of influence from traditional Kung Fu, whereas The Legend of Korra takes more influence from boxing and MMA. The difference in the action scenes across these shows are a lot like the evolution of the action scenes in martial arts films. That's not to say every fight is the exact same, as this TIE fighter has to prove himself to get entry into the tournament. This fight has nice choreography, introduces us to this character, and the maybe sort of problematic depiction of foreign culture. The idea is to use shorthand stereotypes, and we'll see some brownface later. It's not outright racist, it doesn't age well. Like a lot of cinema from this era. Fast forward to this restaurant where this one-armed man pretends to be the one-armed boxer to get free food. This turns out to be a bit of a head-scratching decision. Get it? Because the assassin, he decapitates him like hardcore. If you still weren't sure if this is the bad guy, the fact that he goes around lopping off heads willy-nilly should really lock you into that fact. Then the tournament begins, and we are treated to 18 straight minutes of raw martial arts as the movie proceeds to just show us fights between all these different characters and styles. It's crazy. It just goes on and on and on with no real plot development. We do see the Indian character have stretchy arms, and again, why? Why is that a thing? I mean, first Dalsim, now this guy? Is it because yogis are supposed to be stretchy? It's very specific stereotype to me. There's yet another one-armed fighter, what are the chances, who looks pretty confident, but it turns out he got ahead of himself, and the assassin shows up and decides to do his decapitation thing, kills the tournament master, creates all sorts of havoc. He learns he really doesn't have enough information to go off of because apparently there are a lot more one-armed people in this town than you'd think. The real one-armed boxer had left the tournament to go back to the school earlier. So after clearing out his students, the Indian fighter shows up to kill the one-armed boxer. It turns out the foreign fighters were recruited to be assassins too. He kills the Indian fighter and escapes just before the TIE fighter and assassin show up. The one-armed boxer then hatches a plan to fight the assassin, and this scene is actually pretty cool. We get to see him building traps, and it builds anticipation of how he'll use them. But first, he has to defeat the TIE fighter. So, in order to lure him out, they try to play the music that played earlier, which is just a stupid plan. No, that's not actually going to work on him. How does he not realize it's a trap? Okay, so I guess then they lead him to a tiny box of a room they've built and trap him in a fight with the one-armed boxer with fire burning under the box. I suppose the idea is that the TIE fighter doesn't wear shoes so his feet will burn, but this still feels like a really bad plan. Like, what if the one-armed boxer gets knocked down? Or how about why isn't he using his lightness technique? That'd come in handy. Why did they even show it earlier, only to not use it when it makes the most sense? Oh, and his opponent is a Thai boxer. They're pretty good at, what you call those, leg sweeps? Then when the one-armed boxer actually wins anyway, he runs out because his feet couldn't take much more. So why do it then? Because it makes a good fight scene? I mean, I'm okay with that. Immediately following, the Japanese fighter shows up and fights the one-armed boxer in a less interesting fight. Right after that, the assassin shows up, and I love the pacing of these classic movies. This is a gauntlet for the one-armed boxer. We get to see the one-armed boxer's plan, and it does not disappoint. He uses bamboo stalks to trick the assassin into chopping bits of bamboo. This dulls the blades on the inside of the Flying Guillotine, thus making the decapitation part of it useless. The assassin proves to be equally deadly with the saw blade portion of it though, and at hand-to-hand combat. The one-armed boxer then goes to hide in a bird coop. The sound at first distracts the assassin, and when that changed, he used the birds as a diversion, which must have been a nightmare day for these poor guys. These are live birds that they're just chucking at this guy's face. The assassin eventually big boots the one-armed boxer into the funeral parlor where his next set of traps await, and thank God he didn't get kicked into the dentist's office on the other side of the bird coop. That would have been awkward. In this room, the one-armed boxer finally uses his lightness technique again to climb up and trick the assassin by throwing stones at wood. Boy, I'm glad he put that talent to good use. It's not like it would have been super useful in all of the fights ever. Okay. Oh, okay, I get it. Yes, the sound, it distracts. Okay, I get it. Would you stop attacking the wood planks, you idiot? He's clearly messing with you. Well, the assassin stumbles around, as blind Flying Guillotine's assassins do. You know how it is. He starts to trigger these axe traps, and he tanks it, I guess. Eventually, the one-armed boxer traps and breaks the guillotine, and they resort to, epic titty twisters? That's not going to kill anyone. Oh, that might. Yep, that'll do it. He gives him one final shin shoryuken through the roof and into a coffin, and then gives him his rights and walks away. And it was about 30 seconds later that I realized I had been applauding and weeping at the same time at just how boss that was. And then the movie ends. This movie is considered a classic chop socky film. Much in the vein of 70s blaxploitation movies, it was a film meant to exploit the current zeitgeist of martial arts media. And really, it isn't much more than that. Even for classic martial arts standards, the story is exceedingly light. It's a structure meant only to transition from one set piece to another. In that way, it succeeded. Though most fight scenes were a bit too repetitive with the others, the movie really did show a great deal of varying styles with distinct characters. I didn't really care about the motivations of anyone, but I enjoyed the action. The effects are dated, the dub I saw was terrible, and it even cut out at times. The movie had little plot and rushed everything, but you know what? That's part of the experience of the classic genre. For every Enter the Dragon, there are about 20 of these, but that's part of the fun. The rhythm of these classic films reminds me of classic westerns, and they are almost always entertaining to watch. It is by no means a masterpiece, but it really doesn't have to be. It has to be an entertaining watch, one way or the other, and Master of Flying Guillotine certainly succeeds there. Thank you for watching, and remember, if you can't say anything nice, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Have you seen the movie? Does it look interesting? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to recommend a movie for the series, I might just get to it down the line. Please like, comment, and share, and if you wish to see more videos from this or other series, go ahead and hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, my friends.